What if one moment could change your life forever? Some people survive accidents and walk away with nothing more than a scar. But for others, those accidents unlock abilities straight out of a comic book. Imagine waking up one day and realizing you're not the same person anymore. Sounds like a superhero origin story, right? Well, these 25 people didn't just dream about it. They lived it. Ready to meet these accidental heroes? Let's get started. 20. Ben McMahon. After surviving a near-fatal car crash, Ben McMahon woke up from a week-long coma with an unexpected twist. He could only speak Mandarin. This was shocking because Ben, an Australian, had barely studied the language in school. When he regained consciousness, he addressed a nurse fluently in Mandarin and even began writing in the language. His brain injury unlocked a skill no one could explain. Although his English returned, his Mandarin fluency remained. Ben embraced his newfound ability, moving to Shanghai, where he studied at a university and became a TV host. His story challenges everything we know about the brain's capacity to rewire itself after trauma. 19. Orlando Sorrell. What if a single hit to the head could change your life forever? For 10-year-old Orlando Sorrell, that's exactly what happened. During an ordinary baseball game, a ball slammed into the left side of his head. But what seemed like a minor injury turned out to be the beginning of something extraordinary. Not long after the accident, Orlando started experiencing intense headaches that wouldn't go away. But along with the pain came an incredible ability. He could remember every tiny detail of his life from the day of the accident onward. The weather, conversations, what he ate for lunch, he could recall it all with perfect clarity. Think about it. Could you remember what the sky looked like or what you had for dinner 2 years ago? Orlando could. 18. The Lyman twins Flo and Kay Lyman, also known as the Lyman twins, have minds that function like living archives. They can recall details about their lives with stunning precision. What they ate, the weather, even the day of the week for any past date. Despite their extraordinary abilities, life wasn't easy for these twins. Growing up in an era when autism was misunderstood, they faced isolation and rejection, even from their mother. But with their younger sister's support, Flo and Kay found a way to thrive, dazzling everyone with their rare talents. 17. Slavica Pajkic. Slavica Pajkic, nicknamed Battery Man, holds a Guinness World Record for his ability to conduct electricity. Incredibly, he can withstand 20,000 volts without harm, heat water, and even ignite alcohol with just his hands. Scientists believe his lack of sweat glands might insulate his body, but they haven't fully cracked the mystery. Whether it's science or something supernatural, Slavica's skills continue to baffle experts and entertain audiences around the world. 16th. Khan Superhands. Khan Superhands from Thailand can dip his bare hands into boiling oil without injury. His talent emerged accidentally while frying chicken. Oil splashed on him, yet he walked away unharmed. Khan's ability remains unexplained. Scientists speculate it might involve unique nerve responses or unusually thick skin, but there's no definitive answer. Today, his skill draws crowds to his food stall, where he fries food with his bare hands. 15. Thai Ngoc. For over 60 years, Thai Ngoc from Vietnam hasn't slept, not even a nap. Since 1973, when a fever mysteriously erased his ability to sleep, Thai has lived in a state of constant wakefulness. Amazingly, he remains active and healthy, showing no signs of fatigue. Scientists are baffled by how his body adapts without rest, defying everything we know about the necessity of sleep. Thai's condition might sound like a nightmare, but he's proof that the human body can break all the rules. 14. Daniel Tammet. Daniel Tammet's brain works in extraordinary ways. After severe childhood seizures, he developed savant syndrome, gaining unmatched mathematical and linguistic abilities. He speaks 11 languages, including Icelandic, which he learned in just a week. Daniel also experiences synesthesia, where numbers appear as shapes, colors, and textures. For him, calculations aren't abstract, their vivid experiences. This unique perspective allows him to solve complex problems and even recite pi to over 22,500 digits. 13. Derek Amato. Derek Amato's life changed forever after hitting his head on the edge of a pool. Although the accident caused memory loss and partial deafness, it also awakened an extraordinary gift. Soon after, Derek sat at a keyboard for the first time and began composing intricate melodies as if he'd been playing for years. Diagnosed with savant syndrome, Derek turned his talent into a career, proving that even life-altering trauma can lead to incredible transformation. 12. Tommy McHugh. Can a brush with death unlock a hidden genius? For Tommy McHugh, the answer is yes. His life was forever changed when 2 blood vessels burst in his brain, leaving him in a coma. When he woke up, Tommy wasn't just alive. He was reborn with an obsession for art that took over his entire life. Before the incident, Tommy's life was anything but creative. He was a man of chaos, caught up in street fights and a rough lifestyle. But after the brain hemorrhage, he couldn't stop creating. What if the very moments we fear most, like an accident or a near-death experience, are the ones that unlock something extraordinary? His transformation proves that even the darkest chapters can lead to something beautiful and unexpected. Could the same be true for others? 11. Scott Melly. Scott Melly was in a serious car crash that almost took his life. After the accident, he struggled with crippling anxiety, depression, and felt like he was living someone else's life. But everything changed when he took his kids to a craft store and felt a sudden urge to paint. Though he had never been interested in art before, he discovered a natural talent and was soon diagnosed with atypical acquired savant syndrome. Now an established artist, Scott says he was reborn after the crash. His passion for painting has given him a new purpose and joy in life. 10. Alonzo Clemens. A brain injury at the age of 3 left Alonzo Clemens with severe mental disabilities, but it also unlocked an exceptional gift. With just a glance, Alonzo can sculpt lifelike animal figures with uncanny accuracy. Despite his challenges, Alonzo's sculptures have gained international recognition, with pieces selling for tens of thousands of dollars. His story is a testament to the brain's mysterious power to turn adversity into brilliance. 9. Ken Walters. Ken Walters was left paralyzed and financially ruined after a forklift accident, but years later, a stroke changed everything. While recovering, Ken discovered a talent for digital art, a skill he never had before. What began as simple doodles turned into intricate pieces showcased in galleries. Ken's transformation highlights the brain's remarkable ability to adapt and find new purpose, even after devastating injuries. 8. John Sarkin. John Sarkin, once a chiropractor, experienced a massive stroke at 35 that changed his life. After undergoing surgery, his heart stopped twice, depriving parts of his brain, especially the left side of his cerebellum, of oxygen. The cerebellum controls sensory associations and movement, which led to an incredible transformation in Sarkin's perception. He began experiencing the world as if everything were new each day, a quality that turned out to be a gift for his art. His paintings, known for overlapping images, reflect his unique way of experiencing movement. Sarkin's work has been showcased in prominent publications like the New York Times and the New Yorker and is displayed in private galleries worldwide. 7. Edward Muybridge. In 1860, a stagecoach accident left Edward Muybridge with debilitating injuries, including double vision, seizures, and the loss of hearing, taste, and smell. But the most profound change was in his personality. He became daring, unpredictable, and consumed by creativity. This new mindset led Muybridge to revolutionize photography. Using tripwire-triggered cameras, he captured the first-ever motion sequences, including the iconic galloping horse that proved all 4 hooves leave the ground. His work laid the foundation for motion pictures, turning a near-death experience into a catalyst for innovation. 6. Jason Padgett. A violent mugging in 2002 left Jason Padgett with a severe brain injury. but also an extraordinary ability. The day after his attack, he began seeing the world in geometric patterns. Water appeared as cascading grids, and every object seemed to have a mathematical framework. Jason discovered he could visualize and draw fractals, intricate patterns found in nature. Once an unmotivated college dropout, he became a self-taught math prodigy, transforming trauma into brilliance. His story shows how the brain's adaptability can uncover hidden potential in the wake of tragedy. 5. Edwin Robinson. Edwin Robinson had been living with blindness and partial deafness for nearly a decade after a devastating car crash in 1971. Life wasn't easy, but he adapted to his circumstances. Then, one rainy day, he stepped outside to rescue his pet chicken. What happened next is almost unbelievable. He was struck by lightning. The sheer power of the bolt left him unconscious, but when he came to, something miraculous had happened. His sight and hearing were back. Doctors couldn't fully explain it, but they theorized that the lightning's electric charge somehow reactivated dormant nerves. Edwin didn't just survive a lightning strike, it changed his life for the better, giving him back what he thought he had lost forever. 4. Nikolai Kryagliachenko. 12-year-old Nikolai Kryagliachenko's life changed after he leaned against a faulty lamppost and received an electric shock. The next day, he noticed that metal objects like coins and spoons clung to his body as if magnetized. Though scientists suggest his magnetism might result from sticky skin or static electricity, Nikolai embraced his newfound abilities. He became a local sensation, demonstrating his unusual talent and playfully referring to himself as a real-life superhero. His story highlights the strange and unexplained potential of the human body. 3. Adam Rayner. Adam Rayner's life is a medical marvel. Born in Austria in 1899, Adam spent his early years classified as a dwarf. At age 19, he was just 4 feet 8 inches tall, far below average. But then, something unusual happened. By the time he hit 21, a tumor on his pituitary gland caused a massive growth spurt, sending him into the opposite extreme. He became a giant. Within a few years, Adam shot up to 7 feet 8 inches, more than doubling his height. While this sounds fascinating, his rapid growth came with serious health challenges, including spinal problems and difficulty walking. Adam's condition remains unique in medical history. He's the only person ever documented to have been both a dwarf and a giant in one lifetime. 2. Rory Curtis. Rory Curtis was just 22 when a car crash left him in a coma for 6 days. When he woke up, doctors and family were relieved to see him recovering. But there was one shocking twist. Rory, a British man with no prior experience living in France, was suddenly speaking perfect French. He had taken a few lessons in school, but like most people, he hadn't retained much. Now he was conversing fluently as though he had been speaking it his whole life. Rory himself couldn't explain it, but experts think the trauma unlocked a part of his brain that retained the language. While he eventually lost his fluency, his story continues to baffle neuroscientists and proves how unpredictable the human brain can be. 1. Kim Peek, the real-life Rain Man. If you've ever watched Rain Man and marveled at Dustin Hoffman's character, you might be surprised to learn he was based on a real person, Kim Peek. Kim was born with a unique brain structure. Unlike most of us, he lacked the corpus callosum, the nerve bundle that connects the 2 hemispheres of the brain. By the age of 2, Kim was already showing an incredible gift, an unmatched ability to retain information. He didn't just read books, he absorbed them. Kim could read 2 pages at the same time, one with each eye, and recall every detail with perfection. This gave him the nickname the Living Google, long before search engines were a thing. Kim's brain had formed connections that allowed him to process and store information at an almost superhuman level. Guess what? His IQ was surprisingly low, around 87, highlighting the complexity of his condition.